Hey y'all, my name is Mare. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be all cute for Valentine's Day. I'm so excited. I read 6 romance novellas by some pretty popular authors, and here I am to tell you my thoughts on them as well as which ones you should pick up. If you haven't seen this floating around Instagram, that's how I found out about these 6 novellas. They're called the Improbable Meet Cute series, and it's 6 novellas all written on or around Valentine's Day with characters that have an improbable meet cute, you guessed it. This is done by Amazon, and what's really fantastic about them is that if you have Amazon Prime or if you have Kindle Unlimited, these novellas are completely free for you to read. So if you have either of those two, definitely go check them out. And if you don't, you can purchase them off Amazon for less than $6. Definitely a really good deal in my opinion, because these are some really fantastic and well-known authors. It's a great thing to use if you're looking to help meet your reading goal for the month or the year. If you're looking to try out a new author that you haven't previously read from, it's a great sample size selection. And it's also great if you're looking for something short that comes with audio narration, because all of these novellas have that for you to use. Those are the main reasons why I think these novellas are definitely worth checking out. And if you don't want to read all 6, I'm here to talk to you about which ones you should actually pick up. So we're gonna start off with the first book in the series, which is The Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren. The Exception to the Rule follows 2 pen pals, C and T, who accidentally emailed each other one day on Valentine's Day 10 years ago. They've kept up this gimmick ever since. So the first half of the book is told completely through emails. It's very easy to read because you just dive right in. This book uses hidden identities as well as anonymous messaging as some popular tropes, which I thought were super fun. Like I said, the email setup was super easy to read, and it made me feel like I was reading so fast when I really wasn't. I really enjoyed this one. This was one of my favorites from the whole collection, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I had some things that I didn't love about it, mainly that it started out kind of as a TA student relationship. It quickly was not. Like, they never tried anything while they were TA and student, but there was a power imbalance there that I wasn't a huge fan of. I also thought that T was a little bit quirky, as your typical Christina Lauren heroine typically is. So she wasn't my favorite, but she also wasn't my least favorite female protagonist that I've ever read from them. So 4 stars, really enjoyed this. This was super fun and cute. The second novella in the series is Worst Wingman Ever by Jiminez, and of course this one was going to be my favorite. This one was a fantastic 5 stars, and it was only 60 pages. So the fact that Abby got me a 5-star read with 60 pages, truly incredible and a testament to her writing. So this one follows Holly and John. Holly is a hospice nurse who is taking care of her grandmother as she is near the end of her life, and John is a maintenance man for his apartment complex. And one day John accidentally puts a note on Holly's car from his brother, thinking that it was his girlfriend, leaving her a inappropriate Valentine's Day message, and she thought it was kind of weird, right? But they end up corresponding by leaving notes on her car and gaining a friendship that way. Throughout all this, Holly is also going through a lot of personal issues with her grandmother, how she's end of life and having that burden of personally taking care of her. And it was just so sweet to see Holly and John come together and kind of overcome their own struggles at the time. What I really liked about this one was that it didn't rush right into the romance, right? We had those romantic aspects while we also had those emotional aspects, and at the end we get that cute little sweet happily ever after. But I honestly would have read a whole book about this. I truly wish it was longer. That's like my only complaint about this one, is I was having so much fun reading it and I needed more from these characters. I loved Holly, I loved John, I loved Holly's entire family. They were so sweet and supportive, and this was everything. This was definitely my favorite novella of the entire list. So if you're gonna pick up one, pick up worst wingman ever. Now, the third novella that I'm going to talk about was not my favorite. It was my least favorite by far, and that is Rosie and the Dreamboat by Sally Thorne. And this was disappointing because I really do enjoy Sally Thorne. I loved Second First Impressions by her, and was really hopeful that this novella would be super cute, but it was not. It was super cringe. This one follows our protagonist Rosie as she goes to a day spa on Valentine's Day with her sister to treat themselves. While they're there, Rosie gets stuck in this clamshell-like contraption that she's supposed to like sit and relax in, and it's brand new, and of course something's gonna go wrong and she gets trapped inside with no way out, so the salon has to call the fire department, and in comes our dreamboat, Leo, also known as Romeo. Leo and Rosie are talking through this clamshell contraption, flirting, bantering. At least that's what the author is trying to tell us that they're doing. The banter and the flirtation in this book was ick, disgusting. I did not enjoy any of it. I kept cringing. Like, I have highlights from this book. I have highlights from all these books, but this one in particular was just to highlight how awful the banter was and how laugh out loud it was, because it wasn't trying to be funny, but like I was laughing because I didn't know what else to do to get over and to get through this book. And that's another thing, right? Like, this is a short story, and the fact that I had to physically push myself to get through 30-40 pages was terrible. Like, I can push through 40 pages of a book, no problem, but this one just felt eternal, and I was wanting it to be over the entire time. Leo, our main male love interest, was just completely unprofessional. I'm sorry. If you're rescuing me, I don't want you to be telling me you're gonna take me on vacation and like all this stuff. I get that he was trying to distract our protagonist, Rosie, but it came off as he was really bad at his job as a firefighter, and I don't want to see that. Like, flirt afterwards, but don't flirt on the clock. It was weird. There's also no vivid description. Like, it was basically just dialogue and Rosie did this, Rosie did that, and it wasn't storytelling to me. It was just, okay, I have to write this short story for Amazon, so here's what I'm gonna do. And it's like someone forced Sally Thorne to write this, which like no one did. Maybe her publisher did, but like it didn't feel like it was coming from a place of love at all. Anyways, I gave this one 1 star. Did not enjoy it, do not recommend. If I was to tell you to not read one of these books off this list, definitely skip Rosie and the Dreamboat because it sucked. Next we have Drop, Cover, and Hold On by Jasmine Guillory, and this is one that was okay for me. Drop, Cover, and Hold On follows Daisy and Harris. Harris is a baker who owns a bakery, and Daisy is a frequent visitor of said bakery. She thinks that Harris hates her, which is quite silly, to be honest. I did not believe this like hate to love thing going on here, because the reasons that Daisy thinks Harris hates her is just kind of ridiculous. Like, she's like, he always gives me an extra pastry and he won't let me pay for them, like he must hate me. And I'm like, that's his way of flirting with you. Like, what do you mean? And I get it, because like he gives her like evil eyes or whatever. Like, he doesn't look at her like he likes her, but a simple conversation could have like fixed all this between them, right? So Daisy is sworn off on going to this bakery, but unfortunately on her last day that she decides she's gonna go in there for the last time, which is Valentine's Day, an earthquake hits. She has to take shelter with Harris, and they get kind of cozy and get together, you know, romantically. This one just felt a little bit too insta-love, which it's a hard balance to do, right, when you're writing all these short stories and novellas. This one just felt like too quickly they were jumping into each other's arms. Like, I wanted a little bit more chemistry between the two of them, which I think they had, but it just could have really benefited from a couple extra pages. I did enjoy that the romance actually started really early on in the novella. I feel like most of these, the romance doesn't start till the end, but I also think because the romance started so soon, that's one of the reasons why I felt it was so insta-lovey. And the meet cute itself was pretty cute. I liked that this was the setting where Harris and Daisy could protect each other and really lean into that. I think that the meet cute overall was really well done, but overall this story was just kind of forgettable, so I'm gonna give this one a 2.5 star rating. Next up we have With Any Luck by Ashley Poston, and this is another one that I was so excited for because of the 7-year slip, but this is one that unfortunately was also fairly forgettable. I did enjoy this one, but the setup in general was just not super original. This one follows Audrey Love and Theodore Luck. First of all, what's with those names, Ashley? What's going on there? Audrey and Theodore are both on the wedding party for their respective friends, and they hate each other. Surprise, surprise. They are having to organize events together and spend time together during the wedding week and fight some unresolved feelings for each other. Audrey is super lucky with everything, of course, except love, as her last name suggests. So every guy that she kisses, the next day he's destined to meet his true love. So she refuses to kind of get with anyone because she's worried about this curse. I definitely think that Audie leaned a little bit too into it as someone in her 20s. At least I'm assuming that's what they were. She just read a little bit immature for that. I also didn't love Theo's characterization. I thought he was super fun in the beginning and sweet, and I definitely could root for him, but then he got real possessive alpha male real quick, and it was like a flip of a switch. I was like, what's going on here? So yeah, definitely good. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and it definitely flew by, but overall just kind of forgettable. So I'm gonna go with a 3-star rating for this one. Lastly, we have Royal Valentine by Sariah Wilson, and this one follows a princess as she just wants a day off. Now, this is one that I had not previously read from the author from, so I was actually super excited for this. As I was mentioning earlier, like, I think it's just such a fun way to kind of get a taste for these authors and see if I'm going to enjoy their other works. And I'm happy to report that I did actually enjoy the writing in this one. I thought it was super easy to read, and the characters definitely felt real to me. However, the chemistry was a little bit lacking in this one for me. The banter and dialogue just didn't really do it for me, and this is one of the novellas with a longer page count. This one was about 100 pages or something like that, I want to say, and unfortunately, like, I don't think those 100 pages were used as well as they possibly could have been. The romance started off super early in this one, and you're with these characters the whole time, so I was hoping that I would really feel the chemistry between these two. This one follows Callum and Ilaria, I believe is how you say her name. So if you like books with secret keeping or hidden identities, they both are hiding a secret about themselves to each other. And I also really just love the royalty trope, so I was gonna have a good time with this one, but this one was another one that was just kind of forgettable to me. I'm not mad that I read it, but it's definitely gonna slip through the cracks, and I'm gonna give this one a 2.5-star rating. So now that we've talked about my thoughts on all 6 of these novellas and what they're about, I want to give you my final ranking of these 6, as well as share which ones that I would highly encourage you to pick up on or around this Valentine's Day or whenever you're in the mood for a cute little romance novella. So coming in number 6, it should be no shock, Rosie and the Dreamboat. Skip it, don't read it. Everything else on this list I think is completely readable and definitely worth a shot. So with number 5, I'm gonna put Drop, Cover, and Roll. Number 4, Royal Valentine. Number 3, With Any Luck. Number 2, The Exception to the Rule. And number 1, Worst Wingman Ever. So out of all of these, if you have to read just one, obviously pick up Worst Wingman Ever. It was my favorite, and it was only like 60 pages, so I flew through it. I also would highly recommend The Exception to the Rule by Christina. So these are my top 2 for sure, which shouldn't come really as a surprise because these are the 2 that I was most excited for. I've had previous success with these authors in the past, so it's not really a surprise that I enjoyed these novellas. But I will say I am disappointed that I didn't love the Ashley Poston and the Sally Thorne one more. I was really hoping that I would, but they were just okay. What's really fun about these, if you read them all, there are Easter eggs to each of the novellas in there, and I'm sure that I missed some, but they reference different characters, and it was just really fun to read them and be like, oh my god, I know them. I know them. So if you are interested in any of these novellas, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below for where you can download or purchase them. Again, it's free if you have Amazon Prime or Kindle Unlimited, so if any of these sound enticing to you, give them a shot. They were super fun, and I'm glad that I read all of these because I was definitely curious about them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've read any of these, let me know your thoughts. Are my favorites your favorites? Did you enjoy any of the ones that I didn't love? I would love to know all your thoughts. Have a happy February, happy Valentine's Day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye y'all!